So this is Media Mastery for Maximum Classroom Engagement. What I'm going to talk about today is our kids have a much higher expectation of video, slide, web page production than what we have typically done in school. Is that why you guys are here? Like, I remember when people would run down the hallway going, "Mr. Jones printed a calendar. He printed a calendar." That's not going to impress kids anymore. So that's my new job. I'm pretty excited. There's my email address. Email me if you have questions. All of my sessions come with lifetime tech support. My wife hates it when I say that. But if you email me 3 months from now and say, you said this thing, I will answer. I will answer a lot, Kathy. Yeah, a lot. So I'm going to start with the impact of media. You make it happen, but you're not really excited about school until the door in your classroom opens. Everything up to then is like, ugh. Okay, there was a show in 1969 that played on one season on KTLA called The Thunderbirds. Any Thunderbird fans? As a 5-year-old, I got up early to watch this. I'm not a morning guy. Now, this show was only on TV in 1969 for how many seasons? There were no reruns. It was on once. As a 5-year-old, I remembered this line from the Thunderbirds show. The guy who invented all the cool rocket ships and things, he told his leadership team, "I've taken some of the coolest stuff from all the best manufacturers and made secret stuff that nobody will know what I did." He's taken all the best stuff from manufacturers and remixed it in a totally new airplane or rocket or whatever. As a 5-year-old, I heard that how many times? Now we're talking Sugata Mitra land, right? Self-organized learning. As a 5-year-old, I'm like, yes. That came into play about 30 years later in my career when I designed a high school from scratch with my good friend Mike Niehoff, and I said, we're going to take all the best stuff and make a totally new thing. That sat for 36 or 37 years in my head until I needed it. That's the impact of media, okay? And that was back when you had to get up to change a channel on your TV. I think Patton, the movie, came out in 1971. So I would have been 7-ish. My dad took me to the theater to see it as a 7-year-old. How many people have seen this movie? There's a fair amount of cursing.
Mamo, you magnificent bastard, I read your book!
I saw that movie one time between 1971 and 1988 when it went out on video, right? I've read at least 9 Patton books. And I've read the Rommel books, because Patton in the scene says, "I read your book," and then he beats Rommel in the battle. Power of media. When I was 9, I had a full subscription to the Military Book Club and a subscription to Newsweek. That little clip, something in my 7-year-old head said, if I want to know stuff and win battles, I should read books. Sadly, it was about Patton, mostly. How many people know Hall Davidson or know of him? If you haven't gone to a Hall Davidson presentation yet, do it. It doesn't even matter what he's presenting on. Even if it's something you don't like, go watch. In 2004, I was at an event where Hall told us, or didn't tell us, he presented this scenario. How old is cave painting? I'm crowdsourcing this. How old is cave painting? Could we agree that it's in the range of 30 to 50,000 years, right? I'm not a paleontologist, I don't know this stuff, but it's old. How old is alphanumeric writing? We're looking at about 4,000 years. In 2004, Hall Davidson said his theory was that people have always wanted to communicate visually first. Visual communication has a 35,000-year head start on reading and writing. That's how people wanted to communicate. You see where I'm going with this? And then Hall told us that very soon that there would be a video camera you could buy for $100. And we went, bah, you're crazy. and then flip cams happened. How about this? How many people love to use emoticons on your phone? I know it drives your friends crazy. Why do we communicate with emoticons? It's efficient. It's efficient. If you're texting and driving, it's way safer. You just hit the smiley face out of the favorites, bam, bam, they know what you mean. How many letters? 0. So this is the case I'm trying to build for you guys. People communicate how? Visually. They want to communicate visually, okay? So John Stevens accidentally walked into this trap. I was presenting for Fresno County office, and I was new. And one of the gals came up to me after my presentation and said, you know, I wasn't sure if you were okay. But when you were switching into your presentation, I noticed that you had the Humpty Dance in your playlist, and you must be okay. So that's what media looks like. Those are some of the baselines for why media is very important in our lives. Visual communication, cultural communication, nonverbal communication, right? How many people are on Instagram? Right? Instagram, the whole concept is not that much words, right? So I'm going to set the stage for a couple of scenarios, then I'll get into the lesson stuff that you guys came for. Year 2000, iPod, not released yet. No YouTube. No Windows XP. At this point, we're not even fighting the Taliban. iPad is 10 years out, and yet I had media-centric students. So here's what we did. We had what my wife calls a no-sweat fundraiser. I'm not going to sell you candles or gift wrap or anything. Just send me cash. Just send cash. You're not getting anything. And you don't have to sell anything. So we had a no-sweat fundraiser, got a blue iMac with iMovie on it, iMovie 0. We got a Sony Handycam with FireWire adapter, right? That was like $900. And a VCR. And we had the No Sweat fundraiser. And I got my kids together in a class that was an all-volunteer class. Again, I'm going Sugata Mitra on you. I had an all-volunteer class at a public school where I had 40 kids sign up for 25 spots, and there was no plan. They said, what are we going to do? And I don't know. It's going to be awesome. We will figure it out. They decided they wanted to do a weekly TV show in the 2000 school year. And it was amazing to watch the kids push the 36-inch TV into the cafeteria to show the show every week. So this is what happened. This is the very first thing they made with no training from me. I didn't know how to use iMovie yet. I gave this to Jennifer and I said, you need to make the intro for the show. This is what happened. They showed me that and I went, oh my God, they have completely outstripped my technical capabilities. In the first 11 seconds of a whole year of TV show, I've got nothing to bring to this. Have you guys ever felt that way? At first it scared me because I was still a regular teacher, but then that night I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm going to put gas on this thing. So that really rocked my world and allowed me to roll with the kids and not over-control them. We didn't go through the grammar of film. We didn't do film vocabulary. I said, make awesome stuff. And they would bring it back and I'd go, that's not awesome enough. Awesomer. So we did that for 2 years. Then in 2002, my volunteer class was very different. They volunteered by not passing the previous year. Still volunteering. Average GPA was 2.1. And I had this weird idea. Again, I dig listening to Sugata Mitra because I'm like, yes, I know the vibe. I'm not a professor or a doctor or anything, but I know the vibe he's in. And I had an idea. Could these kids who were not very good readers, right, they would not read a book. They would read the internet all I wanted, but they would not read a book. But I felt like I needed to teach them how to use literary devices for the rest of their lives. Because if you don't understand irony in real life, it's going to be a long life. It's going to be a problem. So I got the blue iMacs. We were up to 5. We had a whole series of no sweat fundraisers and a bunch of VHS players. And I had the kids in the classroom, and their job was to take paper and a pen and watch films. And like this group right here, you look for irony, you look for a metaphor, and you look for foreshadowing. And we're going to watch this film, and you write it down on paper. And then I'm going to plug the VCR into my Mac and pull out those clips. Because this is half a decade before YouTube, right? It's old school. And something marvelous happened. Here's some of their work. Oh, wait, I forgot this part. So I said, bring in movies you want to watch. Wait, it gets way better. Better still. This is what 8th graders are bringing in. They're like, dude, Smokey and the Bandit rocks. Now, I live in a rural area. That may have been a factor. A little bit. My principal walked in one day, and kids are clustered around VCRs and little TVs watching these movies. He's like, dude, what is this? And I go, it's all good. We're learning literary devices. So once they pulled all their clips from their various films, they dropped them into iMovie and cut them up, and this is what they did. Oh, and bear in mind, this is a really hellish project when you have a 40 gig hard drive. And your Dazzle box is blanking out, and the firmware update breaks it, and you have to wait 3 weeks for the new box to come in. Okay, so here we go, making fun of showing off.
I hear he's real fast.
Do you guys know this scene? Do you know what's going to happen? They identified this as caricature. No instruction for me. I just told them what a caricature was. If you don't know the scene, Johnny Ringo is showing off. Val Kilmer has a very interesting response. Watch the cut. But it wasn't just in one movie.
Get you out of here, Buzz.
Don't you get it? You see the hat? I am Mrs. Nesbit.
Snap out of it, Buzz!
I'm sorry. You're right. I am just a little depressed, that's all.
1, 2, 3,
Beverly Hills Ninja.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So they identified in those clips that those were caricatures. How'd they do? Do they need to take a test on this if they find that by themselves? Right? Are they gonna have this for the rest of their life? Right? Okay, here's another quick example. I think this is analogy, metaphor, and simile.
My eyes will be like the tentacles of a squid.
Good. I guess.
She is incapable of such things. She is as lovely as a dove.
I like Fred and Ginger and Lester and Earl.
Right.
We'll have to cross.
You're not turning me into a mashed potato.
I may not.
That's Bowman.
Oh. Well, you're a tall drink of water, and I just love moisture.
So they would come to me and be like, Grippo, you gotta see this one, you gotta see this one. So the whole class made up video clips on all 30 literary devices. They had 20, 30, 40 clips in each one from 5 or 6 movies. So for a person who's not a fast reading processor, how is that activity? That's money, right? And now you guys have this thing called YouTube. This is so much easier. This happened last spring. See that picture on Instagram? This is kids communicating through media. See the picture? What is it of? Paper. So this girl posted this. I want to show you my sophomore year in a nutshell. This isn't even including the things I've turned in, thrown away, etc. I want to show you the amount of paper. I want to explain. Now, if you don't know Instagram, Instagram is not really built for long answers, correct? Here's the rant. This is on Instagram. And she understands hashtags. But this is the part that jumped out at me. Having a website, using Google Docs, or even recording a really crappy music video in Windows Movie Maker is barely reaching the low bar on using technology. So I'm going to encourage you guys to not be that person, because kids know. They are media aficionados. That's all they know. Here's a cool ending to the story. That girl ended up doing a keynote at the East County Tech Fest as a 16-year-old at a Q affiliate event. So I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, now let's get into some more project examples. What I like to do as a film teacher is I will take 5 or 6 lines from a movie that my kids do not know. Most of my kids have not seen the film 12 Monkeys. That's all I give them. That's all I give them. They get those few lines. You can go and find movie scripts online, right? I don't want to teach you guys that part, right? So I found this little bit of a clip that I knew that they could reshoot. So this is their interpretation of those couple of lines of dialogue.
Restraints?
Were you listening? We have 2 officers in the hospital. Yeah, he's in restraints, but the medics gave him enough Stelazine to kill a freaking horse. Look at him. Still on his feet.
That would explain the bruises, I guess. The struggle.
Do you want to go in? Examine him?
Yes, please. Well, I'm doing them all the time.
So they shot that little bit of footage, right? So then you know what? I played a dirty trick on them. I'm going to show you the real movie. They were horrified by how poor the shots were in the real movie.
The eyeballs. No drugs, you believe that?
He's in restraints.
Yeah, weren't you listening? I got 2 police officers in the hospital. Yeah, he's in restraints. And the medic gave him enough Stelazine to kill a horse. Look at him.
And I was like, oh my God, you guys, you blew that scene away. Again, a little Sugata Mitra action. I didn't tell them the shots. I had taught them what shots Hollywood uses, and they used a modern ethos or aesthetic on an old clip. Wouldn't that be fun to do something like from Singing in the Rain like that? Reshoot a scene, because I don't want my kids in film class writing scripts. They're there to learn to shoot and cut. They're not there. It's not a creative writing class. It's how to use that professional tool. How do you learn all the apps? Do you guys ever feel intimidated about all the apps? Oh, good. Only 6 of you. Nice. Okay, so I'm with rock stars today. Okay, the power of I don't know and I don't care that I don't know. Kids can sense fear. If you have fear, they will sense it, and they will use it against you. So I'm going to tell you a quick scenario. I needed some Photoshop kind of stuff to go on, and frankly, I like my weekends. I didn't want to learn Photoshop, but I wanted my media kids to have a Photoshop kind of tool. Have you guys heard of Sumo Paint? So this is the dirty trick I played on them. They came into class and I said, everybody has 10 minutes to go to sumopaint.com and find one feature they like. And then fill out my Google form and describe the feature and why you like the feature. By 3rd period, I was a Sumo Paint god. And all I was doing, though, was as a teacher is, can you describe technical features of an app? Is that a Common Core kind of thing? So the real underlying trick here was, I don't really care if I know Sumo Paint. I want to know if they can describe features. And they thought that was the most fun they had all year. So I had them teach me Sumo Paint in that model. So I do this with apps all the time. Open it up, tell me what you can do with it. We have a structured discussion about the features. We talk about which features we should use. The kids do a little 1-minute live demo. You could use the transform tool to do this, and the whole room goes, oh, that's how you do it. And I don't have to be the smartest guy. So I like to think of this. When people are learning an app or a technical skill, you can't ask them to do the technical and the academic at the same time. It's a huge mistake. Have you ever had kids groan when you say, let's do a Venn diagram? Because you're asking them the skill of comparing and then the academic part at the same time. They can't process that much. So when I'm teaching English and we do Venn diagrams, the first Venn diagram of the year is Big Mac versus Double Double. Because they don't have to learn the terminology. All they have to do is learn how to compare, because that's the goal of that. And then the next day they come in and I might have Demi Lovato versus Miley Cyrus. And they're laughing at me and I'm like, it's all good, just I need 5 answers in each category. And what I find is we're not teaching kids how to compare, they're using up all their processing power on the academic part. What's the right answer? Once you teach them how to compare, they will do this by themselves automatically. So, and you need to do multiple reps on things. So I shot my mouth off about 4 years ago, and I told my spring students, Final Cut Pro 10 is coming out, and we are gonna have that the first day of school next year. And it was an Oprah moment. Kids are crying, oh, no more rendering, no more rendering, auto match color. I can edit before it's done uploading. They're running around the room like they're on fire. Well, one big problem is I didn't know how to use it. And if you look at the Peach Pit books, they're awesome. They're approximately 3 inches thick. When you do that to high school kids, where are the 4 C's? They are gone. Because you have to do tutorial, 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 tutorial. And we're so fixated on the structural piece that we lose the fun part. And so your high school kids will tune out around Halloween. They will start telling their parents, I want out of this class. We're not doing anything. So I wanted a better plan. So Final Cut came out August 12th. Do any of you guys, are any of you guys able to get POs really quickly in your districts? Because if there are, I might consider working with you. So basically, by the time I had loaded Final Cut on all the machines, it was the Sunday before the Monday. And I hadn't even opened Final Cut. And I'm supposed to be the advanced media teacher. So you guys know what's coming, right? First day of class, ladies and gentlemen, you will find that Final Cut has been installed and tested. I want all of you to go onto YouTube and work in small teams to identify your favorite startup video tutorial for Final Cut 10. Present it to the class. And I'm in the back going, suckers. But guess what? They found some really good tutorials. And I got my Sunday back. And we talked about it, and then one group said they liked this tutorial, and one group said this tutorial, and I said, good, you need to do all the stuff in that tutorial by Friday. I will be here when you get stuck. And when they would get stuck, I would say, hey, I think River knows how to do that. She's right over there. And our work tripled because of Final Cut, because of the way things don't render, it's real time. So that led to this, lesson design. In a classic film teacher school, I'm in a group of about 150 film teachers. This is the classic film teacher school get down. For the first 3 to 4 weeks, I'm going to teach you the grammar of film. We're going to do word searches. There's going to be a test on Friday on the language of film, because I need to teach you what? The language of film before you can start. And this is a little saying I said a few weeks ago. If you're going to teach them everything before they can learn, it's going to be a long year. So I created the Circus Wagon project. Basically, what we did, and this is totally rip-offable. You can do this just from these bullets. I gave the kids 1 minute of nonsense footage. No script, no shots, just turn your webcam on for about a minute. I would teach them how to drop it into the timeline by hitting E. You would switch your control to B for blade and make about 20 cuts. You see where this is going? You would add a different effect on each clip. The effects pane is it's the little one that looks like a little film wheel. So 20 cuts, 20 effects. You would add a transition. That's the one that looks like the little Black Widow the little, what's that not? Sand timer, right? It's a little Xbox thing. Put a different transition on each clip. Add a different title on each clip, and then export it. And I would tell them, after 1 period, you know how to run Final Cut. You've imported footage. You've cut footage. You've added transitions. You've added effects. You've added titles. And they would say, what should I put for the title? And I said, put the title of the effect you used or the title of the title you used. So in 1 period, my kids were Final Cut functional. Do you see what happens there? They go home that night. What are they saying? I know Final Cut. And then we were a one-to-one school. You know what happened the next day? They would show up, look what I made. It doesn't take till Halloween to get that. So everything about that, everything after that is about creativity. You want to make a laser cat video? I'll show you how to do the lasers. We're just going to add lasers to that process. You want to make a green screen video where you walk into Star Wars? I will show you how to do green screen. Do the rest of the process. So I'm demystifying that process, right? Here's another good one. Any Chuck Norris fans? Okay. Do you remember color forms when you were little? Is anybody old enough for that? I always wanted the Batman one, but my friend had it. I never had it. So what I did was I had a keynote tutorial featuring Chuck Norris using the color forms mindset. In color forms, do you draw anything? You just arrange it, right? So I made Learn Keynote with Chuck Norris. And what would happen on this would be that the instructions were right in the slides. There was no handout. The teacher was able to move around the room because I'm not lecturing about the values of Final Cut. Of Keynote. I would be out going, oh, you're stuck? She's doing it right. Do like her. 500 kids. We trained an entire school. How many people know what Instant Alpha is in Final Cut? Okay. If this was my school right now, this is about 500 people, all of you would know these skills by the end of this one period by working your way through the Chuck Norris keynote. We had a whole school that was more expert than most of you on the second day of school in keynote. Do you see where I'm going with this? That kind of ties in with Hall's presentation and mine the other day, the weapons of mass instruction. A whole school is ready to work at a high level. So here's a couple of examples I'm going to show you. And this is the idea I call embedded instructions. The instructions are right in the slides. You delete the instructions as you go. Kids love this because they don't have to ask me questions. They just follow the pictures and it's color forms. Boom, boom, boom. Krippos, how's this? It's awesome. So this is what a slide might look like. This is the exact slide the kids will get. What's the only way to make Chuck Norris look better? The only way is no background, just Chuck. Click on the picture, click on alpha, do this, drag. Now, that's 2 versions of Keynote ago, so Instant Alpha works a little differently now. But do you see the concept here? I don't have to tell them what to do, they just have to follow the buttons. How do we make transitions between slides? You click here, you leave it on this. Now you know how to make transitions between slides. I don't lecture that to kids. I give them embedded instructions. This works magnificently in Google Presentation. My good friend Andy Losick, who's presenting at McCall right now back in Michigan, he does the same thing with his 4th and 5th graders. What's your superpower? Insert a picture of yourself, then use the bullets the right way to list your 3 most positive attributes. Isn't that a pretty cool back-to-school activity besides an acrostic poem? Because people always tell me they don't have time to do technology, and I go, you got time for acrostic poems? This is a great startup activity, and you can link all these together, and at back-to-school night, those kids' little presentations are rolling through on the projector, and the parents are like, you must be the teacher of the century. It's just a cheap trick. You have the kids make 5 or 6 slides, you put the instructions right in the slides. Okay, you guys have heard of the concept of death by PowerPoint? Have you seen this video? Okay, this is on YouTube.
That there's some things I hate about PowerPoint, and I figure it's kind of my duty to point them out. So here we go. Here's common PowerPoint mistakes. Number 1, people tend to put every word they are going to say on their PowerPoint slides. Although this eliminates the need to memorize your talk, ultimately this makes your slides crowded, wordy, and boring. You will lose your audience's attention before you even reach the bottom of your first slide. Please don't do that anymore, please. Number 2, most common. Many people do not run spell check. Big mistake. Nothing makes you look stupider than spelling errors. If it's got a red line under it, recheck the spelling. And then finally, I hate this. Avoid excessive bullet pointing. Only bullet key points. Too many bullet points, and your key messages will not stand out. In fact, the term bullet point comes from people firing guns at annoying presenters.
Okay, so that's Don McMillan on YouTube. Don't use up all the YouTube right now. It'll be there later, okay? So this launched the bad PowerPoint project. What's wrong with my slide already? Fonts, bad color scheme, right? But here's the mindset. How many people have a school where PowerPoint is a 1/4 long class? A quarter to learn PowerPoint? That's a long time. So when I used to teach 6th graders, I would say, here's how you make a new slide. Here's how you add text. Here's how you add a picture. Everything after this is creativity. Go. Because I want to make stuff. So the bad PowerPoint project looks like this. Instead of telling kids what they should do, I'm going to tell kids what they... Do teenagers like this activity? Teenagers love this activity. So here's the lesson plan. I get that video, and I have kids take notes on the video, ideally the first or second day of school. It proves to them that you're a badass, that you will walk the plank. Take notes on the YouTube video. I'll have some kind of note-taking form, bad PowerPoint skill 1, bad PowerPoint skill 2, and I go through the whole list. And so I'm skimming through the room. Yep, too many bullets, nice, bad color scheme, you got this. They're doing a note-taking activity and giggling. When does that happen? Then they have to, based on their notes, they have to break every rule. And the more they break the rule, the more bonus points they get. And when they are finished, I don't tell them this, but when they say I'm done, they have to switch and then present somebody else's bad PowerPoint. You have never heard kids laugh in an English class, through the door, down the hallway, getting complaints from other teachers because they're laughing so much. And then here's the best part. You guys already know this one because you're authentic teachers. When kids are empowered, will they call other kids out all year? Because this is what you're going to hear all year. Dude, it's a lot of bullets. Oh my God, you did a font switch on slide 7? What the hell? And the kids will remember this, right? The kids will remember this. And it's that easy. That's the whole lesson plan. You could do this at what grade level? That'd be pretty much every. The one word warning on the YouTube video, he does say hell, so if you're in the kind of school that freaks people out, just clip that out. And so this is some feedback I got from Tom Whalen. My kids had fun with their hideous G slides. But here's the key that Tom does right. On to the good ones. Right? On to the good ones now. So it's this reverse teenager psychology, kind of modern family technique. How many of you guys have seen SlideShare? That is not enough people. SlideShare is like YouTube for presentations. So this slideshow will be at SlideShare tonight, all right? Or maybe tomorrow, depends on what kind of mood I'm in. But if you tweet me, I'll be putting this up. And so you can actually download and remix other people's decks. Here's some examples of what you can find there. Teenagers love this one. You suck at PowerPoint. 5 shocking design mistakes you need to avoid. And it moves on through the slides and it says, you're not given a document, you're given a presentation. And keep it relevant. So they talk about, editing and removing excess slides and being efficient with time. Another example is 100 bullet points from Con Lions 12. They have really good quotes. I love this quote. If I was going to get a tattoo, this would probably be the tattoo I would get. We love the haters. The haters spark emotion and interaction, and we love that. You should love that in your kids, because those are the ones that are going to grow up to be film critics and food critics and CEOs. They're going to mess with people. That's what they like doing. This one's really cool. Put people first, build brand love, unlock the magic. Now here's the key. What company is that from? Unilever. What's Unilever make? Soap. The CMO, I guess it must be Chief Marketing Officer, for a soap company says, we are about brand love. Guys, that's soap. I like soap. I'm probably going to have a career doing craft soap making after I do, retire, because I'm into that. But he's totally down with the idea that it's about brand love. Is your classroom built around brand love? Are you a brand as a teacher that people say, they're going to be in her class next year? Oh my God! You want to think that way. So here's an example of what you might find if you want to be better at teaching photography. I just searched photography skills at SlideShare. This is what came up. I'm not making slides on the weekend anymore. You see where I'm going with this? I'm using other people's stuff. And you see really pretty stuff, like you'll see this proportion, and then they relate it to what's going on in the pictures. You see what's going on there? So they're talking about how the circles and squares interrelate and the sizes, and then putting up real pictures. I did not make this slide. I teach photography, but it's way more fun to teach other people's stuff than spend my nights and weekends making my own stuff. It's way more efficient. And then time is the enemy on any of these projects. Here's what you will never say to children. I need you to raise your right hand after this and agree and swear. Do not say these words to kids. I'm giving you plenty of time, so you do a good job. Do not say those, because you know what the kids hear? There's this filter thing. It comes in here, and this is what they hear. I can start later. I don't have to work today. They all go Huck Finn on you. Don't say that you'll have more time later. They all think they're bulletproof, right? Don't they all think they're bulletproof? I can do this video in 3 minutes. No, I can do this video in 1.5 minutes. It's not named that tune. I want them to think and plan and reiterate and evaluate and look at things. And I would tell them, do you think George Lucas, when he did the first Star Wars, like in a Fox Studios or whoever it was, said it needs to be done May 1st. He was like, I'm going to have it done day before that. And then, do you think they really do that? No, he's trying to be done as early as possible so he has time to reflect and review and show it to his friends and get input and go, you know, I never noticed that Jar Jar Binks guy was an idiot. We should probably fix that. So, I have a concept for you called the suck. Its real name is Parkinson's Law. It's at Wikipedia. And it goes like this. All work will expand to meet the time allotted. And if you're not sure, how many people did your taxes early this year? Not a lot. And you're adults. You're functional. You have a college degree. I'm talking in teenager world. Okay? And so I never give them plenty of time, ever. My motto is panic now. Do not panic Sunday night. Honestly, you're only going to spend 30 minutes writing the crappy essay on Sunday night that's due Monday. Just panic now. Let's just get this out of the way. You get your Sunday back. My assignment's in earlier. Everybody's happy. So this is what the suck looks like. Kids plan to be done on time, like it's a game show. Like you're supposed to be like, essay's done 1 second ahead of time. The problem that I learned from teaching film is you don't have time, and I heard this in one of my art classes, you really need to look away from the paper once in a while or you kind of get mesmerized. Has anybody heard that? You're working and you're drawing and then you look back and you go, oh my God, the feet are huge. You lose that perspective. So from teaching film, what I would see is my kids would try to be done. If I said it's due Friday by the end of class, they're literally starting Friday in the middle of class. And there's no time to reflect. There's no time to say, what do you think of this shot? Oh, you're right. I should change that transition. There's no time for that. So their quality is not as good. Who do they blame? I'm a bad teacher because our videos are bad. They blame me. Have you guys ever felt this? I gave you plenty of time. We talked about this. That's a good one too. So what I changed it to is this. I have a tech rehearsal date. So if your classes are going to do a big presentation, you do it just like elementary teachers do this before the school play. What do you do the day before the school play? Tech rehearsal. Why? Nobody wants to be an idiot in front of the parents. So I've just brought this concept into my film classes. Your video needs to be finished on Thursday for tech rehearsals. I will announce the new due date based on how the tech rehearsals go. See what we're doing there? Because I want all the class to watch and see what's going on. I want them to have a weekend to just think about it. Because most of the time the kids will come back and say, if we reshot that shot, I'm sure we could win an award for this. If you're working up to the deadline always, you'll never have that time. So here's fast processing. This is made in one period on the third day of class by freshmen.
just told you to stop making babies. Stop calling me.
She's alone all by herself. Her body and her car's a mess, and nobody cares about a thing she says. Cut your losses and pack it in, just taking it for a spin.
Okay, looks pretty good, right? How much lecture? None lecture. Gave Melissa shots. Get your phone, go outside, shoot the shots. Then the kids randomly put them together, and they had the music, magic. Did you notice how the titles of each shot was in there? So this is a project I'm going to show you guys in a second. This is called the Shooting Gallery. And there's a whole iBook on it. I'll show you the address for the whole. You can do this at any grade level. You give the kids the 18 or 19 popular Hollywood shots. You give them a quick idea of what they are. You say, shoot the 19 shots. You say, use Movie Maker if you have to. Use WeVideo, use iMovie, doesn't matter. Put them in order, add a song you like, and put the correct titles. What happens then? We watch them all, and the kids grade each other if the shot matches the title. In their brain at this point, they're like, dude, that is not a pullback reveal. So this is what that looks like. And remember, who likes their weekends back, right? I'm a lesson planning minimalist. So this project is what you do the first day of your freshman class. Guess what it is also? The first day back from Christmas break, the first day of your sophomore year, the first day back from your sophomore Christmas break, the first day of your junior year, the first day back from Christmas break on your junior year, and kicking off with the seniors. So this is what a junior looks like now. The juniors are using DSLRs instead of phones and iPads. The juniors are using Final Cut instead of iMovie. Watch the level of advance on the project.
Hello and welcome to another Shooting Gallery video. My name is Catherine, and I will be walking you through different shots you may like to try in your endeavors as a filmmaker. Thank you. A great way to begin the video is with a master establishing shot. It's usually very wide, showing the viewer where you are and what's going on before starting your film. Closer, we have a full shot, shows the full person in frame of the camera. Here we show Hunter using a dolly. Next, we have a medium shot, which still shows a good amount of the character, but not their entire body. Medium close-ups are perfect for conversations because it allows the viewer to focus on one subject in the image while keeping their distance.
Okay, so do you see what happened there? That group decided to make the training video for the freshmen to watch. What does the skill level of the freshman video look like the next year when the juniors are making those for them? How many weekends do I get back? A lot. I save that on 5 flash drives so I can't lose it. The freshmen come in, I'm like, make one of those. Here's your shot list. Impress me. Sugata Mitra, right? They're like, what? I figured out. You people watch movies on weekends? Make it happen. Impress me. So the design idea for this came from an American Film Institute lesson that I did with a friend of mine named Frank Gutler, who used to run their educational division. If you want a film teacher to come to your school, hit up Frank Gutler. He's awesome. We used to do an on-campus field trip. I would get all my media kids, and we would stay on campus and just work as film people all day with Frank. It was awesome. So, this is the Shooting Gallery, and this is what the iBook that you can get for free. Not now, don't suck up all the internet. The plan, this is the total lesson plan. Again, learn the 19 shots. Design, shoot, and upload all the shots. A story is not required. That freaks kids out. They're like, but what's a story? And I go, I don't care. I just want awesome shots. Remember the first video with the girl in it? That's my daughter, so I was very proud of that video. And I wasn't teaching then. That was another teacher doing that lesson plan without me. Kids start looking at you going, these shots look really good. And I go, I know, that's because you're not just doing the grandma shot. 2 up, right? Eye level. You're moving the camera around. So learn the 19 shots. Design, shoot, and upload them. A story's not required. I don't have time for that. It's a 1-period lesson. Drop the shots into whatever app you're editing with. Label them. Creative titles are appreciated. Export, send me the link. 1 period to shoot, 1 period to edit. So this is the backup for the shots. So I explained a pullback reveal. How many people know what a pullback reveal is right now? Okay, good. So I'm going to show you something easy. This is a pullback reveal.
It's a revolution.
I don't know where they were going with that, but it made you laugh, right? So when we go to do that big film festival project, guess what I can say to the kids? You know, it'd be great right here? A pullback reveal. And they go, oh my God, yes. So this is a really fun and easy activity to do that. So there's about 19 slides like this. It shows the point of view shot. It gives examples. There's the list of shots. I print that out on what I call paper. They go out of my classroom. They work in little groups. I don't care. Everybody shoots together. Everybody edits by themselves. Does that make sense? I don't want one kid editing. You can shoot together. Everybody cuts. So if you Google the Shooting Gallery, John Carippo, One Best Thing, it's there. It's a whole 45-page book with video clips. All that stuff you saw is right in it, and you can download it. I'll leave that up for a second, and I'm going to preview. If you follow a guy named Don Goebel on Twitter, he has a riff off of this. He's a film teacher back east in the Michigan area. Don has a follow-up project to this called the 6-shot video. So now we're introducing this concept. The kids only get to pick the right 6 shots to tell a 6-shot story. How many times do you think they pick all medium? That would be pretty boring, right? So he has them do my project. They learn all the shots. Then the follow-up is picking the right 6 shots to tell the story. So that's also available at iTunes. You just look up Don Goebel or 6-word story. Okay, here's another fun one for media stuff. How many people have gotten this happening? Hey, your iPad card will show up next week and your training will be in October. Right? And as a former director of CNI, sometimes it just sucks that way. It's hard to get 500 people trained and get the PO and get the speakers. It's hard. So I made these things. They're called app mixers. This is also on SlideShare, app mixers. This is the way it goes. The kids walk in. This is the total instruction for the teachers. Tell the kids to open iMovie. I guarantee you they're going to do okay. Tell them to open iMovie. Tell them to not make a trailer. Trailers are too hard. Trailers are cool, but they're too hard. They need a lot of support. Have them figure out how to turn on the camera. Does anybody think your students will not be able to figure out how to turn on the camera? I am not going to train them. And then I like this one. Tap the question for more help. They need to go around the room with their iPad, and they need to do this. You would say, who's your favorite superhero? Batman. So you're going to say,
my favorite superhero is Batman.
No, the whole sentence.
No, my favorite superhero is Aquaman.
So I had Batman, Superman, Aquaman. The kids go around the room on a scavenger hunt getting 1-sentence replies. I give them 4 minutes. Panic now. I show them how to drop the clips into order and how to trim them with the little handles. We start sharing out over AirPlay. Everybody knows how to use iMovie. Is that a good team building activity for kids? Is that a good culture building activity? I don't need to do a 10-week unit on iMovie, you guys. What will kids say when they go home that night? Dude, you should have seen what we did at school today. It was awesome. Can I do a follow-up project by dropping a picture of Batman or Superman into the appropriate slide? Yes, I can. Lots of riffs off of that. If you're going to do movie trailers, how many of you have done movie trailers on iPad? Okay, how many of you not? Okay, they're awesome, but they're daunting because you need things like this. If I get an amen from people that have done. I need 2 people for 1.2 seconds. I need 1 person running. I need a person for 3.4 seconds smiling. It's pretty technical. And what happens is kids end up with random crap. And then they try to make it work. And they blame who? So, if you go online, you can actually download the movie trailer outlines and print them on what I call paper. And then what the kids get is all this stuff. I need 4.1 seconds of landscape. See, the problem with movie trailers is if you have 3.1 seconds of landscape, that shot does not work. So I have the kids pre-plan all their shots on paper so that it's efficient. We can do an iPad trailer in 1 period of planning, 1 period of shooting, 1 period of editing. Boom, boom, boom. It doesn't have to be a 4-week project because guess what? Kids don't like 4-week projects. Kids are like, oh, are we doing this again? I want to get in and get out quickly. So just look up iMovie trailer templates on Google. Okay, I'm going to do some gear stuff for you guys. Have you seen iOgrapher? The thing behind that is called an iPad. They're here in the vendor area. It's a company done by a former teacher. You can add a wide-angle lens, an LED light, and a microphone. Go see them, iOgrapher. It just clips onto your iPhone, your iPad, whatever. It's awesome. And you have 2 big handles, so you don't have those shaky shots. And here's the best part you can't see right there is a tripod mount. Okay? If you guys have you guys ever heard of Ustream? Ustream is an app that's free on your iPad. And all you do is hit the button. You hit the red button on Ustream, and you're streaming live. You want to stream your football game? Get one of those. Ustream, Wi-Fi, you're streaming live. That's your total setup. You want to do graduation or maybe a board meeting? Same setup. Ustream is free, by the way. You just make an account, start streaming. We've had as many as 200, 300 people following a playoff volleyball game on Ustream. It's really cool. But until you have the tripod mount, it doesn't look very good to do the volleyball game like this, right? Whoa, what did you say? Okay, right. It gets really funky. If you need to buy a classic video camera and you're looking for a video camera for a multi-use kind of classroom, I really like the Zoom Q4. It's about $299. Here's the things I like about it. Kid-friendly buttons on the side. There's no weird menu where they have to go back and forth, because kids will go into the menu and change the buttons. So you have to learn the reset button, because it'll be all jacked up. On the Zoom Q4, it's just sliders right on the side, so you can quickly see what's going down. It also serves as a web camera, and it has a little button where it has wide angle or normal angle built right in. But my favorite part is that right there. What's that, you guys? High quality microphone. High quality microphone, because video without good audio sucks. And if you're not sure, turn your TV on mute some night and watch how fast your family room empties on mute. Without sound, people are not as engaged in it. So that's the Zoom Q4 on Amazon, about $299. Really nice little product. It also has the ability to hook in an external microphone, which is cool for interviews. You can hook a lavalier. Another one I like, GoPro 3 Silver. What's awesome about that is you have an app. You can see what's on your GoPro on the app. Ridiculous. You can mount it in weird places and turn it on and off. It's awesome. If you need to make a studio, you can get 5000K LED bulbs off Amazon. I always get LEDs because if kids break a fluorescent in your classroom, prepare to meet the hazmat team. It really jacks your week up. But you can get a bunch of those bulbs. You want to be 5000K so you get that white light so it's not orangey peachy. And then the Rode SmartLav plugs right into your iPhone or your iPad, and you have a really high quality audio for interviews. About $80. These aren't free, but they're pretty affordable. If you want a wireless mic, the Audio-Technica Pro 88W, $129 on Amazon. And it rocks. Super easy to use. About 200 foot of range. It makes all your student work look way better. And then if you need a green screen kit, $129 at Amazon for everybody that orders today. And tomorrow and the next day. But that gives you all the stuff you need. You've got the backlight, the front light, you've got black, white, and green backdrops. It's a really good setup. And there's probably 800 of them there, so don't ask me which one. Just be a good shopper. Okay, do you guys know what a Swede is? Have you guys seen Be Kind, Rewind with Jack Black? Well, the story is he magnetizes all the VHS tapes and wipes out the store by accident. So him and his buddy recreate the movies badly. So Swedefest is actually it's located in Fresno, which is near us. So we came up with this idea of having our kids make bad movies. Release the guilt. Make bad movies for fun. So they would take theatrical trailers and copy them shot for shot. How much writing time? None. How much planning time in terms of script? None. They could pick something out and go for it. So this is what we got. We reshot a full-length trailer badly.
You were made to be ruled. In the end,
It'll be every man for himself.
What do we do?
We get ready.
There was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people. So when we needed them, they could fight the battles that we never could. Gentlemen, what are you prepared to do?
No offense, but I don't play well with others.
Big man in a suit, take that way. What does that make you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist?
If we can't protect the Earth, you can be damn sure we'll avenge it.
Dr. Banner, your work is unparalleled. And plus, I love the way you turn into a giant green rage monster. Thanks.
They work like crazy people. They worked on that for like 8 days. It was a really fast build. And it was great because, you know, the cars were moving. So when they screened that for the freshmen were like, now, how did you make the cars move? Was that stop motion? Did you use the DSLRs? And like, no, we used a weed blower. He's a blower. And the freshmen were like, brilliant. So I'm almost wrapped here. Am I good on time? How am I doing on time? I'll just keep going then. Okay. So screencasting, not you. They don't want to watch you at home. Don't be the screencaster. Here's some examples of what you can do with tutorial type stuff. Have you guys seen WikiHow? This is fun for 7th and 8th graders to work on. They have things like this. This is how kids learn now. They go on the internet and they find stuff like WikiHow and they follow the instructions. That's why they're so good at being hippies, even though they weren't born in the 60s. And then at the bottom of those, you have this, can you tell us about making putty? Can you tell us about 5-minute miles? I think kids learn in that environment where they want to participate in how things happen. Here's another one for you.
Hello, my name is Bonnie. So this is when you first start up mine. This is my first tutorial of Minecraft. So this is how it first starts up.
Okay, Bonnie's 8.
Like, I'm going to show you.
Bonnie's got 8,000 hits. Bonnie's figuring this out on her own. Okay, have the kids do this. Another good example. This is on YouTube. That's not his twin.
Hey guys, it's Kevin. I hope you guys enjoyed that little clip. That was not me, that was my brother. I was behind the camera. So today I'm gonna show you guys how to actually do that cloning effect with maybe yourself or someone else or something. So let's get on into the tutorial. So I'm gonna be using Final Cut Pro
Pro
X
doing
for
tutorials
this
on
tutorial.
Final Cut.
So the very first step in...
That's the model right there, right? I'm not going to show you this one for time. Okay, so California Media Festival. Have you guys heard of it? Okay, look at the categories. English Language Arts, ELD, Fine Arts, History, Social Science. You can enter videos from your classroom there. Why is that a big deal? Because when you tell kids we're going to enter a statewide competition, they're like, oh yes, we are. And you say, for our English Language Arts lesson, we're going to Swede a video of your choice. And we'll be the only Swede in the 7th and 8th grade language arts session that's made only on iPhones. And they're like, oh, yes, we are. And then the best one is even topper. If you go there, don't just enter film festivals. At California Media Festival, they have a link called Steal This Film Festival. If you want to take it up a notch, have a film festival. Have your kids run the film festival. I've done this multiple times. Tell the kids, we're going to put on a film festival for the 4th and 5th graders. But we're at what grade? 8th grade, right? There's a lot to learn from running an event like that. So steal this film festival. And this is what your kids will say when they go to college. They Instagram that to me one day. And you recognize Kevin from Iron Man, right? And then that's Alyssa. We know all of this. So, one last little clip in case you're getting antsy. That's Catherine. I'm going to show you what it looks like when a girl is in a media class for 4 years, what the end of career high school experience looks like. It's about 8 minutes long. It is a long thing. It's good. I'm just going to give you guys a couple minutes though, but just take a look at Catherine's well-rounded skill set and what media brought to her education.
I discovered that I didn't want to be a famous dancer because I love to dance, although I do love to dance. I wanted to do it because I love to entertain and to create, and to work on something that a multitude of people could enjoy. Walt Disney said, "Of all our inventions for mass communication, pictures still speak the most universally understood language." And in a behind the scenes of the Disney's The Lion King, a man said that pictures that sing make people cry. I totally agreed hearing that and thought, yes, and they make people laugh too. The human race is filled with passion, but poetry, beauty, romance, love, this is what we stay alive for. The way you feel reading an amazing book or watching your favorite movie. Perhaps it's so outrageous that it gives you a sense of relief from reality, or even a better grasp on reality. Whatever it is that breaks your heart when a series is finished, or allows you to watch the same movie over and over, or spend more money on a painting than on your car payment. To be able to fill your mind and willingly allow yourself to be so overwhelmed with something, even only for the duration of a show or a 3-minute song. A step out for where a bit the perfect love story is possible, or becoming a princess or a superhero is possible. Adults in my life have told me that I can choose to do anything, choose to be anything. I learned with disappointment that anything doesn't mean everything. I want to save lives and become a doctor. I want to protect and be a soldier. I want to discover and be a scientist. Usually these desires were impulsive and inspired by a book I might have read or a movie I had seen. I want to be the most important thing that the world could ever see. It can be very stressful for me and sometimes scares me because I never truly knew what I wanted to be or what the best use of my time here could be. A small conversation in my anatomy class helped me to figure it out. What is the most important organ in the human body? Some may say the heart, or the brain, or your lungs. However, none of those are the most important. Even though those 3 may be the most popular, it does not make them the most important. Your body needs every one of those to survive. It needs its heart.
So that's just a clip from her work. Do you see the richness of her skills? Every clip you saw, every animation she made. And she is currently a film student in Burbank. Okay? So that's my encouragement to you guys. A little miniature Q Rockstar teacher thing. I already did this earlier. Go to the Rockstar camps. You'll like it. That's me if you want to track me down. Thanks for coming, you guys. Have a great Q. Make better videos. Use them in English class and history.